Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I find these stories on YouTube all the time and I've always wanted to react to one and do one of my own. So today I'm going to be reading a couple of Am I the Jerk stories. These are always so beautiful. These are the stories where people post it to Reddit to see if they're the bad guy in the situation, and oh boy, are they always entertaining. First up, am I the jerk for poisoning housemate who ate my food without my permission and ended up in the ER? Let's go. I, 19 male, recently moved into a shared space and there's someone who keeps stealing my food. At first, I thought it was just a mistake, but even my leftovers were being eaten. It was very clear that the person was doing it on purpose. I spoke to my housemates about how I would just prefer to be asked first, but they were nonchalant about it and none of them admitted to doing it. And I haven't caught anyone in the act, so I just tried to ignore it, as it only happened every couple days or so. A few days ago, I came home from work with a carton of eggs that I found while dumpster diving and some bread. I wanted to give the eggs the water test before eating them just to make sure that they are safe to consume, but I was too tired and went to bed early without eating. The next day, I found out that one of my housemates got so sick he ended up having to go to the emergency room. My eggs were not in the fridge where I left them, but I saw the carton and shells in the trash and my bread was opened. I had a hunch that it was him because there was a possibility that the eggs had gone bad, but I was also annoyed at the fact that he helped himself to my food without asking. When he came back, I asked him if he had eaten my eggs and bread, but he denied. I then said, okay, but I hope whoever ate them doesn't get as sick as you did because I found the eggs in a dumpster. His face immediately dropped and he looked visibly uncomfortable. He got angry and went from saying that he may have consumed the food by mistake as he wasn't paying attention and doesn't exactly remember and accusing me of poisoning him. He said that it's a health hazard to bring such food in communal spaces without warning everyone first, as it's not uncommon for people in shared spaces to eat each other's food by mistake. He hasn't spoken to me since, and then my housemates are siding with him and called me disgusting for doing that. A part of me feels like I wasn't wrong because they were my eggs that I was fully intending on eating, and I didn't think I had to warn people against eating food that didn't belong to them. But I also do feel bad and guilty that he got me sick. So Reddit, please tell me if I was in the wrong. Edit, just to clarify, because I see some comments that suggest I may have done it on purpose. I didn't. I've been dumpster diving for some of my food recently, so I was fully intending on eating it, like I've been eating the food that I had been finding while dumpster diving. I tried to exercise caution, and thankfully it hasn't made me sick yet, but I had not eaten it. I was probably going to end up in the ER myself because I was obviously going to eat it. I didn't randomly do it to try and bait and catch whoever has been eating my food. Food poisoning is not a joke. As I said, I just moved recently and I'm just trying to get on my feet. I also understand that although I make sure to wipe my food first, ultimately, it is gross to put food that can come from a dumpster in a communal fridge or pantry. It will not continue to do so. I will just put it in my room from now on. So I'm not gonna lie, there in the beginning, this didn't look too good for OP. After the edit, this is just the way OP operates. Hey, if you're living with a dude who eats food out of the dumpster, maybe stop just eating everybody's food. I would say in this situation, OP is not the jerk. Is it a little dangerous to have food that might be considered toxic? Maybe, but hey, as long as they don't eat it, that's not their problem. Am I the jerk for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's college? My 48 male stepdaughter Hannah, 18 female, is going to attend college. I know her for around 4 years since I married her mother. The issue though is that we've never gotten along well. I have tried, but she always says that she doesn't like me and wants her real dad. When I tell her stuff or scold her for behaving out of order, she'd say, "You're not my father, you're just some stranger." My wife Emily asked her to behave properly as well, but she doesn't care to listen, and in the end, she stopped telling her as well. I had to pick up Hannah at school at once, and when a couple of people who did not know I was her stepdad asked her who I was, she said, "Oh, he's a servant, actually," in front of my face. I was extremely mad at that, and it even resulted in a huge argument, although she played it off as a joke. But this was the last straw, and that happened a few good months back. After that, I have always treated her as if she's invisible and barely had any interactions with her unless absolutely necessary. Well, she talked to me presently and said she's got to apply to a college and wants me to pay her fees now. I refused and asked her to ask her real dad, who refused to pay for it himself.
Boom. Roasted.
She began to protest and said I'm affecting her education and that I cannot do that. But I did not relent and said she's not my business now. My wife says refusing to pay is wrong and that I overreacted even though she's not been nice to me. Am I the jerk? In my opinion, the OP is not the jerk. You see, this really stretches the boundary of just because you're someone's caregiver, you have to provide everything for them. Well, if the person that you're supposed to care for, who's not even your biological child, decides they want to be a spoiled brat and want nothing to do with you, then when it comes to needing to be paid fees for your college tuition and all that, sounds like you should probably get a job, instead of asking the person who you've treated like dirt for the past couple years, for you see this is what they call the consequences of my actions.
Well, well, well. How the turntables.
So, final statement, OP is not the jerk. Am I the jerk for telling my son he will pay back for the cheese/meat or he won't be eating Thanksgiving tomorrow? I'll keep this one short. Every year we have a charcuterie board before Thanksgiving meal at 6. Just something everyone can pick at so they aren't dying of hunger by dinner time. My son, 16, loves cheese, and due to this, I make sure to label when he can't eat something. I labeled all the stuff for Thanksgiving, don't eat. Well, yesterday he went and ate all of the fancy meats and basically ate from each block that I bought. I truly was pissed since I worked extra hours to pay for it since the prices are awful now for a nice cheese. I told him he needs to go to the store and replace all of it, which would cost him around $70. One of the cheeses he ate was $18, or he doesn't get to eat Thanksgiving meal. He is refusing to pay for it back, so no Thanksgiving meal, he will eat a sandwich. And he thinks I am being a horrible jerk. My husband is on his side and doesn't understand why I'm so pissed about it. Edit. Thank you, I made up my mind. I already informed my mother-in-law of the situation. She offered to bring a nice cheese board if he still refuses. I'm giving him at least one chance. He can buy it, not get Thanksgiving tomorrow, or work for 11 hours to make up the money. I liked that idea from a Redditor. I have a feeling he won't do either of the options given, so probably no Thanksgiving and my relatives will understand. In my opinion, the OP is definitely not the jerk. I had a similar situation to this when I was younger. I remember my cousins coming over to spend the night, and of course me and my boy cousins were staying up late playing video games, you know, typical dude stuff, and we woke up knowing that we were gonna have powdered donuts in the morning. Well, or so we thought, because when we woke up, it turns out that their sister, who was roughly 2 to 3 years younger than the majority of us, had been eating the entire bag in front of their grandmother, who she definitely favored. So what did that mean for us? 2 young growing boys and a slightly shorter younger growing boy got to share 2 powdered donuts each because she ate the whole bag. So if you're not supposed to eat something and it's supposed to be shared for everyone and you eat it, then you are the jerk. The OP here, perfectly safe. This has been a very short Am I the Jerk episode. If you would like to see more of these, please let me know. I am working on a much bigger video at the moment, and I figured I would do something to take my mind off of it for a little bit. If you enjoy these, let me know in the comments below. I'll make more. But until the next time, hopefully I have my next video done here soon. Y'all stay safe out there.